Hi. A few things for this one. Um, I'm sitting on my bed. I I just didn't want to get up and set up everything. Um, so I just turned my light on and then sat back down on my bed. Um, I was trying to go to sleep and was just thinking of shit. So here we are. Um, I I was thinking about like the ideals um, that we hold for ourselves. Maybe that isn't even the right word for it, but there's always something that it's human nature to want to grow. It's human nature to want to be better. It's human nature to strive for more, right? It I mean every creature does it. Um, More food, more safety, more, we just have the ability to um, have other goals, you know. But there's always something that us as people can point to or look at and say, well, that could be better. I could do better there. Um, that isn't quite right. I'd rather it be like this. And it's a very natural thing, I think. Um, and it's, I'm sure, a big part of why um, we've been alive for so long, right? Why people have been alive for so long, and why we've evolved the way that we have, and why we've dominated the planet. Um, but with that being said, it's most of the time those um, they they either become irrational or impossible to meet, right? Um, what I was thinking of is like I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, um, like body image stuff. Um, you're always like, um, oh, I could be a little bit thinner. Oh, I could put on a little bit more muscle here, or even just, I wish I had more muscle here. Like wanting your proportions to be different, right? And there's a certain point where it's like you put in so much work, um, and you make so much progress, and you just don't recognize it. You just don't congratulate yourself for it because you're like, oh, I could do better. Oh, it could be better. I could look better. I could do more. Um, I could have more of this. I could have less of that. Um, and it's just not good, man. It's just not good. Like it's good to want to grow. It's good to, um, but like I said, there's a point where it becomes irrational. It becomes impossible to meet those standards that you're setting, right? Um, for any person, I mean, this can be an outward thing too, where um, you're just setting impossibly high standards for other people to meet, right? Um, I've had some of that off and on, but it's always because I've had such high standards for myself. Um, I've I've had to push myself very hard, um, and I always have, and I've always made sure that I'm doing just about everything that I can to get to where I want to get to. But there's a certain point, right? And with all that, I was thinking too, especially the body image stuff, like everyone has such widely different, uh, like types, like physical types, and uh, like I really think just about everyone will fall into someone's ideal, right? Um, Especially if you're at a like healthy weight, especially if you're at um, yeah, healthy weight, good fat percentage, um, like, and you're a healthy person, I think you will fall into someone's ideal, right? Um, and a lot of that more has to do with who you are and your personality. At least for people that aren't shallow, at least for people who aren't just, you know, there for a hookup or whatever. Because that's a thing, and I don't have anything against anyone who does that or likes that or whatever. Um, I definitely I understand where it comes from, and I understand that it's fun for a lot of people. And I think as long as both people are there for the same thing and both people realize what it is, and you're not like tricking someone, right? I think as long as you're not tricking someone into it, making them think that you're going to stick around or whatever. Um, I think as long as you're not doing that, it's fine. As long as both parties are on the same page, I don't see any problem with it. It's just not for me. And I know there's a lot of people that's also not for, right? Um, just people who don't enjoy that sort of like surface level, like fun experience, right? Fun. I'm trying to think of a word that won't. Intimate experience. There you go. Um, I don't remember why I went on why I started talking about that. I don't remember at all. Um, you'll fall into someone's ideal. You'll fall into someone's ideal, especially if you're at a place where you're happy, right? Where you're happy with uh, your body and what you can do and all that, right? Obviously, that's a super important part of just life, right? Um, there's a certain amount of like accepting yourself, right? And then there's a certain amount of like, well, I can change that. Is it worth putting in the effort to change, right? Is it something that's actually bad, or is it just something I perceive as bad? Is it something that harms me, or is it something that actually enhances my life, or has no impact at all? Right? And when you think about that, when you think about it like that, um, when you kind of take a step back and be like, okay, what's the outside of this, right? How does this actually affect my life? This trait or this something with your body, or like it can be just about anything, man. Um, when you look at how that actually affects you, or could affect you, or could affect others, could affect the life that you want, maybe, then you can really see if it's something that you need to change, or if it's even something you should change. There's a lot of things I've had to just accept about myself, right? Um, Mental illness is one. Um, since I was 10, I've been I've had depression and anxiety and um, ADHD, and for a long I spent a lot of time in therapy, and I had this thought in my head that it would just go away and I'd eventually be fine. Um, Obviously, it's a lot better now than it was, and I have way more ways to cope with it. I have a lot more ways to deal with it. Um, that doesn't mean it's not there. That doesn't mean, right? I had this thought in my head that it would just go away at some point. So I kind of tried to deny that I even had it anymore, right? That I could even be diagnosed with those things anymore, that, they weren't still there. Um, but really, in a very real way, I got used to it. Um, those anxiety, especially, that just became a norm, right? It just became a part of my life. Uh, because I cope with it all the time, right? I have to. Um, and I have to take special, like, care, right? I have to pour more into myself. I have to make sure um, I'm directing my thoughts. I meditate. Um, and those are all things that I've built over the years to be able to um, cope with this thing that's just a part of me. Um, and when you're in something like that, you know, I mean, we're talking about accepting parts of yourself, right? When you're when you have that your entire life, right? When you have some part of you that is there, um, sometimes it can be hard to see that it's not a part of everyone, right? That it is yours. Um, and that in some ways it makes you unique. In some ways, um, it will. It depends on the thing. Some ways it'll enhance your life. Some ways it'll hurt your life. But it's there, and it's there to stay, and there's nothing you can do about it. And those things are the hardest, because you can always look at those and say, man, that could be better. But it's irrational to think, right? You build coping skills, you figure out how to deal with it, and you go about your life. That's all you can do, right? I'm sure you could find many examples of something like that other than mental illnesses, but that's mine, right? That's the one that it works for me, because I've lived it, still living it, I suppose. I get real close so I can read how long this is. Oh yeah, I don't have my glasses on either. Yeah. Um, I just you'll fit into someone's ideal, you know. I wanted to make this because I had this thought that you will be someone's ideal, and I've had this thought quite a few times over the last like 3 4 months, right? Because I've done a lot of work to, first of all, like, uh, this is like kind of hard to. There's a lot to this, but like working out and my fitness goals, and I've done a lot of work to get to where I am, and I'm actually really happy with where I'm at, right? And it took a lot to get there, and it took a lot of effort and persistence and discipline to get here. And, some days I look in the mirror and I'm like, man, I could do better. Man, I could keep going. Man, I should have done better. Man, I should be doing more. I should be doing better. Um, and that's just such a disservice to yourself. That is it's such. I've been thinking like how much of a disservice that is to me. Um, and I mean, I've talked to a few people who can relate to this. Um, I know it's a thing. It's just, and then some days you look in the mirror and you're like, damn, I look good. You know, damn, I really worked for this. This is awesome. You know, I really put in the work to get here, and I'm glad that I did. You know, and you flip flop back and forth day by day. Uh, and that's just the human condition, man. Like to try to grow, to try, your brain does that because uh, it wants to do better, right? It's a machine that's fine tuned to strive for more, to strive for better, to try to get more, 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 better, better, better all the time. Um, and sometimes you gotta tell that thing to shut up, man. You just gotta tell your brain to shut up. I mean, you don't have to be nice about it, you know. Um, there's a 21 Pilots song. Oh, what the hell is it? I can hear in my head so clearly. Um, Tie a rope around your mind, tie it. Um, this is not a noose, it is a leash, and you must obey me, right? I think that's how it goes, man. But it's pretty much like, you have a lot of control over your brain, actually. Uh, an incredible amount. It's one of the things like going through therapy and being a psychology student. Like, it's fascinating how much control we actually have over our brain, right? And the ability to gaslight ourselves for better or worse into whatever way of thinking we want to have. very scary thing. But I mean, you see it all over the world, right? Like, you can make yourself believe anything, man. Um, you can make yourself believe anything in the absence of any facts at all whatsoever. Um, and you can make yourself believe something against the facts, right? Um, Conviction, right? Yeah. I mean, brain's crazy, man. The amount of control you have over it is even more crazy. Um, I'm gonna wrap this one up now, but I just if you take one thing away from this, just you will be someone's ideal. All right, someone will see you, right? Hopefully, multiple people's. Hopefully you get friends that think you like this too. I know I have a few. I have a few, and I'm very grateful for them. Um, they'll just see you. They'll see you and they'll say, you know what, that's my goat. That's that's my goat. I want that one. I want to keep this guy around. I want to keep this girl around. Um, and they'll do it, and they'll just do it. Hey, it's a beautiful thing, and I hope if you don't have anyone in your life like that, that at some point you will. Um, it's a wonderful feeling. And I think as long as you really find a space within yourself that you can be comfortable by yourself, right? You can love yourself. Loving yourself is such a fucking, like, that's a phrase that's thrown around all the time and told to do all the time. Um, I think it's closer to. I think the word love is kind of the problem, right? I think the word love is kind of the problem. For me, at least, that's where I see the problem with that phrase. Um, I think accept is a lot better phrase, and accept the bad parts of you, right? Not even bad. Accept the parts of you that you can't change, right? Parts that are absolutely outside of your control, right? There's not a lot of those, right? I'm gonna be honest. There's not many. Um, find ways to cope with them. Figure out how they will affect your life, how they have affected your life, and do what you can, right? Um, See, the thing is, like, it's not a simple thing. Like, it's a very simple phrase, but like for people who have gone through a lot, for people who have struggled a lot, it's a hard thing to truly accept yourself and to heal and to um, do what you can and heal through what you can and grow through what you can. Um, it's a really hard thing to do, but if you do it, you will find people who will first of all admire you for it, who will admire you for what you've done, and God, I hope by the end of it you can admire yourself. You know, I hope by the end of it you can admire yourself and really just be glad because you feel so much better, right? Like the reason to heal and to have a better mindset and to feel better and to it's for you at the end of the day because you want that. It's not to please other people. It's not to get more friends. It's not to get a girlfriend or a wife or whatever. It's to make you feel good. It's to make it so that you can move through life and be okay, right? And be happy. Because you can be happy and be lonely. Those are not opposite emotions. Lonely and happy are not opposite emotions. Um, I will say you probably don't feel them at the same time. You don't feel them at the same time, but loneliness is also like it's a perceived thing, right? It's a whole thing. This is running way too long now, but loneliness is a perceived thing. Um, it's an emotion that comes from perceived social support and whatever, right? Um, and perceived need of that support as well, perceived need of others. Um, yeah, it's a whole thing, but we crave human connection. That's a very human thing. Um, I'm not denying that. I just think people. Also, I'm an introvert, so that's I think it would be hell to be an extrovert, dude. I don't know. It just seems like hell to me. I'm sorry if you're an extrovert, but I just I mean, if you enjoy it, good for you. But that just seems like hell. Like having to rely on other people to recharge yourself, like that's crazy to me. That's crazy. Um, anyway, okay, I'm gonna actually wrap this up now. Um, thank you for watching. If you're still at this point, um, and I'll see you in the next one. Wait, can I do it?